Hi there, and welcome back to the Yoga Bellies and Babies podcast. I'm Krishna Hasamal, mama of 4, scientist, a yoga teacher, and owner of the Krish Yoga Studio. And today I'm sharing something really practical. We're going into detail about the exact yoga modifications that got me through my twin pregnancy. These yoga modifications aren't just for twins, they're for anyone feeling particularly large, uncomfortable, exhausted, or someone who's navigating with a high risk label while actually feeling quite healthy. So picture this, you're 6 months pregnant, you're trying to do a lunge in your living room, something you've done countless times during your pregnancy, and suddenly it's not so easy anymore. Your belly is in the way, your balance is off, and everything feels different. If you resonate with that feeling, this episode is for you. When I found out I was carrying twins, my relationship with yoga completely transformed. Overnight, I became high risk. But here's the thing. I was healthy, and so were my babies. That label had nothing to do with our actual health. It was purely because I was carrying multiples. Maybe you're in a similar boat. Maybe you're labeled high risk because of your age, or because you're carrying twins, or some other factor. But maybe you're fine. You feel fine. You're healthy and your baby is healthy. Or maybe you're not labeled high risk at all. And you're just dealing, and I say just slightly, and you're dealing with a particularly large belly, intense exhaustion, or significant discomfort. Let me paint a picture of what I personally was working with. So I'm relatively short and small framed, and in my first pregnancy, I gained 12 kilos. My second pregnancy, 14 kilos. In my twin pregnancy, 20 kilos. That's a lot for a 50 kilo woman. So until about week 28, it's like carrying 2 full-size babies. After that, it's roughly about 1.5 babies until the end. So either way, it's a lot of extra human being inside. And my belly wasn't just big, it was enormous and it hung really low. I needed a support girdle for the first time just to be able to walk comfortably. The exhaustion was crushing. My legs felt like lead. I could walk, but I couldn't stand. The brain fog was intense, which meant I couldn't think about my own yoga sequences anymore. I needed to follow. And old injuries like sciatica flared up because of that massive pelvic shield. And what this experience taught me is that every pregnancy is different, even for the same woman. What worked before might not work now, and that's completely normal. And since my twin pregnancy, I've had the privilege of teaching other twin mamas on my online yoga studio. And there's something really powerful about practicing with someone who's been through what you have. And I could feel them when they were struggling just to get up from the floor. Yeah, to go from the mat to standing. So if you are looking for that kind of guided support and live classes and recordings specifically for pregnancy, check out krishyoga.com. And before we dive in, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're navigating any specific high-risk condition, whether it's preeclampsia, gestational diabetes, placenta previa, reach out to me. I'm creating a series of episodes for different high-risk scenarios, and your input shapes this type of content and actually will help serve this community. All right, now let's talk about yoga modifications. First thing first. We have to talk about props. We can't talk about modifications without talking about props. They're not optional, they're game changers. Firstly, birthing ball. If you don't have one, get one right now. This thing will save you. Sitting on it relieves so much pelvic pressure compared to regular chairs. It helps your posture when everything just wants to collapse. You can sit on it and do gentle hip circles while watching TV. And you know what? That counts as your movement practice for the day. You can also use it for child's pose. So when getting onto the floor feels like just too much, just kneel, drape yourself over the ball, hug it, and then rock side to side. It gives you instant lower back relief, and it's just like getting a big hug. The other props I used a lot are chairs. I had 2 chairs placed around my house, one in the living room, one in the bedroom. So most chairs are fine, except chairs with arms. So use ones without arms. And they can completely change your standing practice. So you could put your hand on it in triangle pose. You can sit on it and do warrior 2. You can put your foot on the chair for tree pose. And you can use your hand on it for balance. You can use it for downward dog. There's so much you can use it for. They're also really helpful to get up and down from the floor, which can be its own workout on its own. Blocks, get some blocks. Put these under your hands to give your space, your belly some extra space. Sit on them to give you a little bit more space in the hips when you're doing seated poses. Pillows and bolsters. So use pillows and cushions if you don't have bolsters. When you're lying on the floor, put them underneath your head, your knees, underneath your belly, maybe on the behind your back. It sounds excessive, but a minimum of four pillows is what I would have used. The wall, a free prop, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, but the wall is also an amazing prop to use. Now, if you've been used to doing yoga without props, this might feel a little bit weird. But just remember, they're not crutches. It's what your body needs right now. Now, let's talk about the poses that actually work in this kind of high-risk situation. I'm going to tell you what helped me during my twin pregnancy, and I'm going to number them so it becomes easier to follow along. So pose number 1 was modified cat pose. And I say modified because you probably think of cat with cow. Now I'm talking about skipping cow. So just cat. Cow pose increases that lower back arch, which you already have so much of during pregnancy, especially with multiple. So instead, focus only on cat pose, the rounding of the spine, the flexing part. Get your hands and knees onto the floor. Use blocks underneath your hands if you need more space. Widen the knees a little bit more than normal. And from here, round your spine, draw your belly in gently. It's not a crush, but but a gentle engagement. So this counteracts that extreme lordosis and gives your lower back relief. If being on the hands and knees is too much, stand facing a wall, put your hands on the wall, move your feet back a little bit, and round your spine from there. Pose number 2. Side lying hip openers. So get your pillow nest, make your nest, get comfortable on your side. Listen to your body, it'll tell you which side feels better. Many people recommend the left during pregnancy, but sometimes the right might feel better. So listen and do what feels right. From here, on the side, you can do gentle hip openers. You can bend the top knee, drop it forward using the pillow, slide it forward and back, do some hip circles. So it's nothing too intense, but it helps maintain mobility and also strength. This is also your position for Shavasana, right? You can lie on your side, make a nest around you, and I would play hypnobirthing tracks because I was using rest as birth preparation. It's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Number 3, Trikonasana with a chair. So take your stance and in Trikonasana, instead of reaching your hand down to the floor or to the shin, rest it on the chair next to you. So you still get that lateral side stretch, you're still working the legs, you're still working the arms, but now you're doing it with support, without that strain, without that struggle. Number 4, Virabhadrasana 2 with the chair. So set up your Virabhadrasana, but on the chair, so you're sitting instead of standing. So your front leg is still bent, your back leg extended, the arms are out, the legs are working, the arms are working. You can focus on the fingertips, but your body isn't getting exhausted because it's being supported by the chair. Pose number 5, tree pose with a chair. So this is completely different to what you see in yoga magazines. So stand next to your chair and place your foot on the chair. Instead of balancing on the standing leg and putting pressure onto that standing leg, you're working on balance and leg strength, but now you have the appropriate support. You can put your foot on the chair and you can even use your hand on the back of the chair for balance. Pose number 6, supported squat. Let's forget hanging in these squats, right? It's too intense sometimes for the pelvis, and actually it's not good for our posture. So put some blocks underneath your sitting bones and take that wide stance and sit on the squat. I'm on a bolster right now, you can't see on the camera. And do your squat, but on some bolsters on a chair. You could also put a chair in front of you and hold onto the chair, which gives you a little bit of lift and also gives you a little bit of chest opening. Asana number 7, child's pose on the birthing ball. So now this is one of my favorites. I mentioned it before, but it's worth mentioning again. So instead of getting into child's pose onto the floor, use the birthing ball. So drape yourself over the birthing ball, hug it, rock gently from side to side. So you won't be so low, but it's really soothing when you're feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, even with lower back pain. Pose number 8 or 9, I've lost track, is legs up the wall, but a modified version. Now this is great for heavy legs, for swollen feet, but avoid lying flat on your back. So prop your upper body with pillows. Yeah, we want to be in a reclined position where the head is higher than the hips, not flat. And then lift your legs up on the wall. Now your body will tell you immediately if this isn't right for you. If your baby starts kicking a lot, your heart rate starts racing, you feel dizzy or nauseous, come out of it straight away. Listen to those signals. Pose number 9, yes. Seated work on the ball. Sit on the ball, do pelvic tilts, go forward and back, side to side, hip circles. You could do pelvic floor exercises here. You can also do open, gentle twists from here. Nothing that's compressing the belly. Sit tall and just gently rotate the torso. You could even bring one arm behind you, one arm forwards, which helps get that spinal mobility without the compression. With so many postural changes in pregnancy, areas like shoulder and neck get really tense. So you could also do some neck rolls, shoulder circles, shoulder and neck stretches all on the ball. A little note about lunges. Lunges might not be accessible to you anymore, and that's okay. They used to come easily for me, but towards the end of my twin pregnancy, they just didn't. It was not right. And with the sciatica, I didn't want to push it. So let go of those poses that you could do before. Let go of them without guilt. I want to talk a little bit about what you should avoid, right? Because safety during pregnancy is key. So avoid deep twists or closed twists. So any movement that compresses that belly is a no. I would avoid lying flat on your back, especially when your body, unless your body's saying it's completely fine. Watch out for the warning signs. Lying flat on the back, unless your body is telling you it's completely fine and it's completely comfortable, then please avoid it. Avoid deep forwards folds. There's just no space and there's no point in crushing. Avoid intense core work, intense planks. Your core is already working a lot to just keep you stable. And jumping. Let's avoid jumping during pregnancy for our pelvic floor health. And avoiding all of this is not failure. It's just adapting to what our body needs right now. And let's take a moment to talk about the emotional stuff, right? Because if you've had a strong yoga practice before, this can really mess with your head. Maybe you were doing advanced poses, deep back bends, had a flowing, energizing vinyasa practice, and now I'm telling you to sit on a birthing ball and do hip circles. That ego can get loud, right? Oh, I used to do more than this. I should be able to do more than this. You might feel frustrated or sad that you can't do it anymore, and that's real. You're allowed to grieve that there were things you could do that you can't do. And this is what helped me, remembering that it's all temporary. Headstands are not gone forever. I will be able to do them before. But right now, my yoga practice is helping me prepare for birth and taking care of my postnatal body. So I'm doing prenatal yoga now to care for my postnatal body. Because yoga, at the end of the day, is not about the poses we do. It's about connection. It's about connecting with ourselves, with our body, with our baby, with our breath. So whether you're doing triangle pose with a chair or you're lying on your side breathing, you're doing yoga. The important thing is to make it happen. So keep those props nearby. Keep that birthing ball in sight. If things are out of sight, you're not going to reach for them. Have the blocks around your sofa. Have the stuff around you. Also, forget about that standard length of time for a practice. Maybe you were used to 30, 40, 60-minute practice every day. Now during this pregnancy, maybe it's down to 10 or 5 minutes, okay? It doesn't matter. What matters is the intention that you put into it. Both count, whether you do a 1-hour yoga practice or a 5-minute yoga practice. When the brain fog hits, and it can hit really hard, don't use that mental energy to think of your own yoga sequences. Follow someone else's. That's why you have prenatal yoga teachers. In the Krish Yoga Studio, we're about 4 yoga teachers. We have live yoga classes and recordings for exactly this reason. You can just show up and follow along. Don't exhaust your mental strength. So trust your body's signals. If something doesn't feel right, don't do it, period. It's not worth the risk. And think about restorative poses. It's not less to lie in a restorative pose for 10 minutes. It's essential. Rest is productive, especially when you are growing a human being. Okay, so be kind to yourself. Remember, I had 3 different pregnancies, 3 different weight gains from 12, 14 to 20 kilos. It's the same body. It was a completely different experience each time. You cannot predict or plan how your body is going to respond. So here's the bottom line. Your yoga practice can adapt to wherever, it should adapt to wherever you are right now. So use all these props without guilt. Simplify when you need to. Follow guidance when you can't think clearly. The Krish Yoga Studio community and the teachers were there for you. Go check out www.krishyoga.com for more information. Practice for 5 minutes if that's all you've got. Rest when your body asks you for rests. If you feel like you're letting go of some poses, it's okay. They'll be there for you later. The moment now is for practicing yoga for your pregnancy, for birth, for your postnatal recovery. That's plenty, and that's more than enough. This is temporary, and your practice will evolve again. Right now, know that you're exactly where you need to be. Thank you for listening. And remember to reach out about your specific high-risk condition situation so I can actually create specific episodes to help you with your yoga practice through your situation. Thank you so much. And remember, you're doing an amazing job.